Hello class. In this video, I'll demonstrate puppet pin animation. So as you can see for this poor cell, when it moves, we can liquefy his body. So we only need a few drawings, like the body as one layer and the wings as one layer. And we can create a puppet pin and liquefy the image. So we can animate the different part of each layer. Okay, so let me pause it. And here is the drawing, and I'll just delete all of the other characters, and this is our character we're going to use to animate. So basically here I have this cell layer PSD file, and here's how I organize the layers. So basically on the top I get the left wing, and down below here I get the face, and I put multiple layers together in a folder. So here basically I have the two different eyes. One is the open stage and one is the closed stage. So later I can animate the eye blink animation. And here I have the mustache. Okay, for left side and right side, so I can rotate each side. And I also have the nose, and I also going to put a puppet pin on the nose, so you can see that the nose can be liquefied and animated. And on the bottom here's the mouth, so I can animate the mouth as well if I want him to talk. And then down below here is the body layer. So as you can see, I put the whole thing as one layer. However, here you can see the body basically can be distorted. Okay, and here's the right wing, and then the shadow, two shadow layers. Alright, and I also have a snow PSD file, and basically here I have the bigger snow, which is in the foreground, and here the smaller snowball, and that's the snow I'm going to put in the background. And here I get the background image. Alright, so we'll switch back to After Effects. Alright, so as I demonstrated in the last class, when you input your images, when you import them into After Effects, for a JPEG image, you can just drag it into here and see it'll be imported directly here. And for a PSD file, let's say I already imported it once, so I'll just make a duplication, and I'll say CL2, and when you drop in here, here's the option you would like to choose. So import can't, choose a composition and the return layer size. So by doing that, you'll import all of the layers in the PSD file as a composition. So it'll keep all of the layers and it will return the layer sizes, and you'll be able to edit the layer style. So see if I click on open, and then here's the folder of all the layers, right, in the file, and here's the composition. So let me open it, and let me close all the other layers. Alright, so as you can see for this composition, right, it has a wings layer is in the front, and the body layer, and the right wing layer. And for the folder here, I have for the face, I have multiple layers inside of the folder, right? So it'll convert the folder as a composition. As you can see, I can open it, and I get all the layers inside. Alright, so now let's talk about the animation. So how to use the puppet pin to animate the character. In this video, I'll demonstrate the basics of puppet pin. So if your character is as simple as my character, as a still character, it should be enough. Okay, so let's take a look at the body. Let me start this layer, hide the top. So for the body, let's see, we can just use this tool, which is puppet pin. Click on that, and we'll click on the body layer. Maybe make sure you select this body layer. And once I click on that, you can see I created a yellow spot, so that is puppet pin. And here it also added the pin at here. So it is an effect. And under effect, you can see this puppet. And then under mesh, under deform, and you'll find the pin you created. And let's create a second one. So for the second one, I'll put it here, third one here. As I create the pin, as you can see, if I put my mouse on the pin, it'll switch it to a move tool, and then I can grab that pin and I can move my object, okay, the portion of the image. And you can see this image is liquefied, right? I can twist the character's body the way I want, and I can create a swim animation. Alright, and put Command Z to go back. Alright, here I'll put one more, here one more, and here I'll put one, control the tail, and another side of the tail. Alright, so that's how you put the pins. And then how to do keyframe animation. As you can see, if I select the tail, which is the 4th pin and the 5th pin, and then I go to this arrow, and then I'm able to keyframe them. So when I create the first pin, I put my timeline at 0 second, and as you can see, at 0 second it added a keyframe. You want to keep it, otherwise, see, if you click on that delete, you'll lose the original keyframe. So make sure don't click on this button. Instead, you'll go to a different time where you want to change the pose of your character. For example, at half a second, I want its tail to be down, so I would switch back to the selection tool, because I don't want to accidentally add additional pins. Alright, and then I can just grab these pins to different location. As you can see, by doing that, since I changed this position, it automatically add a keyframe at half a second, right? And I can do the same thing for the tail pins. As you can see, if I'm only using the puppet pin for animation, I can create a keyframe. However, I cannot parent the pins together. I cannot the tail to follow this part and this part to follow the Benny to follow the chest. I cannot do that. So I have to manually keyframe all of the individual pins. Alright, so in the next video, I'm going to show you how you are able to parent them together through no object. Okay, so if we only want to use the pin, we'll have to go to the individual pins, add another keyframe, or you can just without add a keyframe and just select individual pin and bring them down. And by doing that, you'll add the keyframes. Alright, so now see, I put them down, and then I can move them up. Right, and then here actually I want to create a keyframe for these two, just to block the position. Okay, and then at here I would like to use the first keyframe, so I can just copy and paste. Command C for copy, Command V for paste. If you are on Windows system, you will use Control key, Control C for copy, Control V for paste. Okay, so I'll have this simple animation, right? And if you want to have a whole cycle, more cycle, and you can just go to the 4th keyframe, and since the 4th keyframe is the same as the first one, and then I can just put my keyframe, my timeline on the 4th keyframe. Or if you're on a different time, you can just click on this button to go to the next keyframe, and then we can copy the whole thing, and Command C for copy, Command V for paste. So it'll paste the whole thing to here, and the 4th keyframe will be the first one, right? Second one will be the 5th one. So we just duplicate this whole cycle, and same thing for the other, and same thing for here as well, and same thing for here. And then by doing that, you can duplicate the cycle and let it repeat. Right, and then for the face, let's see. For the wings, we'll do the same thing. Create 3 pins and then animate them. And for the face, here I would create some keyframe for the eye. So here I'll go to half a second and select both of them. Hit TK for transparency or opacity and create one keyframe. Okay, we can show the second eye as well. And let me switch to full display so you can see it clear. So that's the first keyframe. And for the first keyframe, now we'll select the second eye and we'll hide it by changing the opacity to 0. And then for next keyframe, we'll create a keyframe for both of them. And for second keyframe, I would like to show the second eye and hide the first eye, right? So that is the eye blink, and I would like to keep it for 3 seconds, 3 frames, and then I would add a keyframe to keep this state. And then for the fourth keyframe, I would show the first eye and hide the second eye, and then I would have this eye blink animation, and then I can move to a different time and Command C to copy this part, Command V paste. Same thing for the second, and then I just duplicate this eye blink animation, and I can duplicate to wherever I want. Okay, and for mask edge, you can just select this layer and use the pen behind tool, anchor point tool, you can call it, and then move anchor point to here. So you can go to its rotation channel, and then you can rotate it the way you want. Okay, and you can create more keyframes for that. And for the nodes, that layer, we can also use the pivot pin and create 3 pins, and then create a keyframe for these 2, so you can animate the mouth, the nose. All right. And for the wings, as I said, is the same. So you'll just have to create 3 different pins, and then you can grab the different pin and animate that. Okay, so that is the whole procedure. And once you've done that, and for the snow, here I already imported a layer. What you will do is, this is the first layer. Okay, as you can see, basically, now I'm just showing one layer of it. You animate the first one, right? And then you just duplicate that and fill this gap. So you will have them to repeat. Okay. And just make sure you fill this whole 20 seconds animation. And same thing for the second snow. Okay, so the second snow, as you can see, I let it move in a slower pace. And for the first snow, I let it move in a faster pace. And then if I put them together, and they'll move in a different speed and different layer. Alright, and then you can select the background image and drop it to create a composition, right? And then in this composition, you can bring in the snow and place it in the top. And here's the snow. And let me change the display to 3rd so you can process a little bit faster. So that is the snow. And then you can put your sail layer in between, right? So that is the animation you have created. And then you can go to hit VK or just manually select the selection tool, and you can place it at a spot. And as you can see, for the animation, for the half second, it's like a, it's like a, a scratch, and then the arm move to the front, and then push again at 1 second half. So what you can do is here, go to its position, hit PK for position, start from 0 to 12 seconds. You can let it move forward. Okay, so when it push, it'll move, and then at 1 second and a half, you can just duplicate the second keyframe, to keep its position at this part, and then at the 2 second, let it move forward, right? And same thing here, so let it keep for 1 second. So copy the 4th keyframe and then go to the 5th keyframe, which is 3 seconds and a half, and move it forward. And then it'll push and stay, push and stay. Alright? And then in the end, you will have this guy be fully animated. I forgot to drop in the snow. So snow is here. So you'll have him fully animated. Alright, so that is the basic of Puppet Pin, and as I said, with the basics, with just the Puppet Pin, you are not able to parent object. For example, now the tail to follow the body, body to follow the head. Okay, so in next lesson, I'm going to show you how to create a controller and how to parent object together.